What's up, guys? Diamond here, and welcome to what I would call a podcast, where we're just a little bit of a chat with you guys, a chat with the competitive TF2 community and just the TF2 community as a whole. This is something I wanted to talk about pretty much always. I've always thought about this, and I don't know, I just got a little bit of an inspiration to talk about it when I was having a conversation with Dreamboat, who casts Australian TF2. He also casted Rewind, but we pretty much just talked about the state of TF2 and like the professional scene and like the state of affairs and what we could do to make TF2 better. And I don't know, I got a little bit inspired to make this video on my take on that kind of stuff, how we can expand the scene. And hopefully, I don't know, you guys dig into it. Maybe you get something out of it, and we could have a discussion in the comments or on TFTV or on wherever, just so we could talk about this because I'm genuinely curious what you guys think about my little theory of expanding TF2. But before we get into that, I just want to make an announcement that I am looking for a Quake team for Sacrifice. If there's anybody on the West Coast, preferably in Canada, who wants to play Quake and go to little small West Coast lands, please hit me up. Okay, that's the Quake announcement. So yeah, what I was saying, if you're a passionate player, expanding TF2 is something you probably think of every day. I always go like when I go to bed and when I played on a team, I was just like, man, I wish the scene was bigger. Like this game is so fun. What can we do to make this scene, bigger? And I don't know, just like I kind of that's why I'm making this video. And my take on growing TF2, it's not necessarily on increasing its exposure. It's more so on preserving its top level scene and making it better. So not only preserving it, but just making it better. And sorry if my voice is a little shaky. I'm not used to making videos with my webcam and podcasts and stuff. So yeah, sorry about that. And my voice is also a little raspy, probably for some I don't know, from some recreational things. But like so it's not about exposure, it's about making it grow as on the top level scene. And when you think of top level scene, you want to ask yourself like, oh, okay, well, do any big orgs know about TF2? Like they don't necessarily have to be like orgs based around like esports teams. Like they could be things like Dreamhack, like organizers and that kind of stuff. And the answer is most orgs do know about TF2. And the only reason why they don't want to invest in TF2 is just because there's just a number of reasons. It could be lack of money, it could be lack of land, it could be lack of committed players, lack of streamers, it could be all this shit. And I just want to talk about this because I don't know, it kind of just breaks my heart that this game is so awesome and we just don't have commitment in this game. And that's the main thing I want to get about this is just the lack of commitment from top level players in this game. Now, most top level players they play TF2 for fun. You'll hear that from most people. There's no money in TF2. You play for because you have friends. Like No Mercy is a good example. Those guys are a bunch of friends. Like they play, they have fun, and that's the end of the story. When a LAN comes around, there's usually like one team that's actually interested in going to a LAN that's like from another continent or that kind of thing. Or like even like things like Gamers Assembly. Like what was the team that won first on Gamers Assembly? I think it was like a mixed team or something. It's just like completely like the lack of commitment. It's not like, oh, we're gonna bring our whole team, and this prem team's gonna bring their team, and this prem team's gonna bring their team, and we're gonna have like a epic LAN, even though there's no money. It's just like a lack of commitment, and I guess I don't know, people just don't want to waste their money. But like they like the game, and that's like a weird circular problem, I guess. And sorry, I'm reading off a notepad because I never do these podcast things, but we talked about problems TF2 has, and like the lack of commitment. And what I personally think would be a great solution is just to make TF2 look more professional. And there's many ways you can do that. You can make TF2 look more professional by streaming more. You can make TF2 look more professional by playing in tournaments. You can make TF2 look more professional by, I guess if you're a pro. I mean I use the word pro, but these guys aren't getting paid, but let's just call them pros. If you're a TF2 pro, by streaming, by getting individual sponsorships. Like you get sponsored by fucking Logitech. They make great mice. I don't know. You can you could try to pick up an org. You can or get picked up by an org. Like there's so many ways you can grow, especially as a top level player TF2, and and make it look professional on top of that. And I just want to that's like part of this whole podcast is like committed players and making it look more professional. And I just want to bring a good example of Rewind, because Rewind's a great example where we had so many committed players that we ended up having six teams, invite teams that were like none of them were mixed teams, so just six whole invite teams to go to a North American LAN. And well, it was actually international because seven showed up as well. But what made that LAN so awesome is it was like the second annual LAN in TF2 ever. I think we've always had Insomnia like as a big international LAN. That was the second international LAN ever, and that used to be a dream, and that became a reality all because we had committed players. We have people like Seven who like literally made an org so they can like fly out to LANs. Like that was the purpose of their org is that they go to LANs and like compete and shit because they love TF2. And I'm honestly glad they're doing well, and I'm glad they stuck around, and I'm really glad they won I-61 so they have a little bit extra money to like potentially go to Rewind again. But that's not the point of this right now. So like Rewind LAN's a great example. So not only was it the second annual LAN in TF2, but you'll notice that at least in North America, after Rewind, like a bunch of orgs came into TF2. Now, some people asked for orgs, but some of them just like picked up players, right? You have captains who are like, "Oh, hey, I want to get sponsored." Oh shit, I almost coughed. I don't know what the fuck I just did with my voice, but you had captains who were like, oh, okay, I want to get picked up by an org, and then you had orgs that were just like, okay, I just want to pick up a team, and it doesn't matter which way it was, but after Rewind, everything like started like growing a little bit. You had like orgs coming into the scene and stuff, and people were excited. They weren't like I don't know Cloud9 or some shit, but they were tier 3 orgs, and people were excited. You're like, hey, TF2's getting exposure. Like TF2's not dead. Whatever like people say in the threads nowadays, but I just want to say like Rewind was a great example of like just expanding TF2, and it all happened because of committedness and just like yeah, you get committedness, you get a second LAN, you get committedness, you get exciting TF2 to watch as a spectator, you know, like all that kind of shit. So that's like super awesome. And we already talked about being committed to TF2. You could be a YouTuber. Like there's not enough YouTubers that are top level players. I call them, sorry, that's my phone. There's not a lot of YouTubers that are top level players that make videos. Like I think Ams and someone else has like an antic YouTube channel, which is really awesome. Um, I remember Deathy from Running with Scissors. He was supposed to make like introductory like channel for players, but like I subscribed to it. It has like 400 subscribers, but like he doesn't have like a single video on like educative TF2. Like it's pretty much just like Banny and like Amps that I could think of. There's probably some other people, and that's not any disrespect to them. I just personally I haven't done my research there. You can blame me on that. But like those are the people I know specifically. Banny literally has what is it called, Death Merchant University. Like that's so awesome. And sorry, I keep looking at OBS, which is why I'm like pointing this way, because I don't know, I just like looking at myself when I talk. It's just kind of weird. So I don't sorry for like not looking at the webcam too much. I'll try to do that more. But so yeah, YouTubing, streaming, like I see people like AIM and like Nursey, and like I see so many people who like they're top level players, they're pros, and I get it's completely fine to not like streaming, but like I don't know, personally I find it really enjoyable to watch like late night pugs and just like watch top level players like point of views that isn't just banny all the time, and it's just like it's pretty cool to see like a good medic player or like a good pocket player, or like Yite's kind of funny. Yite's also insane as well. Like it's just fun to watch like these people, and I don't know. It definitely grows TF2 because it gets people from Reddit. It gets people from the front page. When you log into the game, like the front page, they're like, oh hey, like this guy's got 80 viewers. I'll check him out. All of a sudden, hey, I'm watching Yite Twitch TV Yite 2. Like he's a really funny guy. He makes like funny noises and like, hey, maybe I'm gonna stick around. And like, what's this thing he's playing? He's playing competitive TF2. Like that's kind of cool. How do I play competitive TF2? And then like all this kind of stuff. And streaming's a great way and a professional way to expand the game. And professional is the key word because professional is like so important in terms of like, if you want money in this game, you have to be professional. And we talk about ESL, and like ESL is like, if ESL comes to TF2, what do you guys want to see? And everyone's just like, we want to see money, we want to see land. But like you can't just ask for free shit. Like you have to work towards it. And streaming's a great way to work towards getting picked up by a sponsorship. It's a great way to work towards just getting more money into the game. Like and and like YouTubing as well, and just because it exposes competitive TF2, but then indirectly it like improves your life, I guess, and just like improves the top scene as a whole. So like yeah, like people were like, and I was pretty upset about like ESL personally. I was just like I wanted money, but like into the game, but like I mean, hey, they're not gonna do it for free. It's like economically, it's not viable, right? Like people have to show that they like TF2 at the top level to like compete and do everything for TF2, right? If they expect these orgs to like come in and shit. So we're gonna, I guess, go a little bit further, change topic here. I don't know how I went on a fucking long tangent there, but I was just like, once again emphasizing on how to make TF2 look professional. And one of the things that we still haven't talked about is team sponsorships. Now, obviously, you can't get like picked up by Cloud9 right away. And obviously like you can't get picked up by Fnatic and all these like amazing orgs that literally give salaries to their players, but you can get picked up by like tier 3 orgs I don't know, just like a bunch of orgs. Faint Gaming, like they're a great org. Like they're just such nice guys. They're actually even trying to expand the scene. Like it's in their best interest from a business perspective, but it's also maybe because they love the game or something. Like those are great orgs. Now before we talk about good tier 3 orgs, I just got to talk about bad tier 3 orgs, and there's a lot of bad tier 3 orgs. Most tier 3 orgs will literally just pick you up, and you probably know this because you're top. Like some of you guys are top players who are probably gonna watch this because I'm posting this to, like on all TF2 social media. But you know, some orgs will just pick you up and they'll drop you after a season just to get exposure for their brand, and that's pretty much it. Like oh, you just get a cool jersey, and that's like all you get. Like you're just like, okay, I got a cool jersey. My costs are being paid for land. Like what's the point? And like maybe sometimes you get your invite fees paid, like that's kind of cool, but like to them, like paying invite fees, like that isn't, that's like jack shit. Like every org has enough money to pay for an invite team, but it's in their best interest to even spend $600 paying for an invite team because they get exposure to their org for such a little cost, right? So all that kind of stuff. And not only like do they sometimes fuck you over by like not paying for lands and that kind of stuff, but they can fuck you over in different ways, like financially. Like if you guys recall Perilous Gaming, Perilous Gaming was that sideshow team, I think, that went for Dreamhack, or I think it was Dreamhack Winter, and they went to Dreamhack Winter, and they said that they're gonna pitch in like £1,000 or like euros or like some amount of money. I don't want to like be exact because I'm gonna be wrong, but they were gonna pitch some amount of money to send a TF2 sideshows team over to LAN, and they ended up, I think, dropping them in like the right after the tournament or in the middle of the tournament, and they didn't pay for them shit. Like they just kind of like left them and they fucked them over. And those are all just examples of like bad tier 3 orgs. So like, hey, like, it's really tough to find a good one, but you can find good, or I feel like players can find good orgs just by like streaming, YouTubing, and like not folding after one season. Like, and that goes for ETF2L, that goes for Australia, that goes for like everywhere, like on the fucking planet. Like, just don't fold and like stream more and show that you love the game and that you want to go to lands and shit and expose the brand and rep the brand and be professional, and you'll get good orgs. And eventually when you get good orgs, they'll ship in a little bit for you to go to LAN. And the whole thing is that when all these good orgs start coming in, and by good I just mean like tier 3 orgs, if there's enough tier 3 orgs and they're making tweets about, oh, we got a TF2 match at Rewind Land, like be sure to tune in, or like, oh, we got a, like, we won invite, blah blah blah. Like they just make tweets. All these bigger orgs are connected in like on social media, and like orgs like Fnatic and like all these like tier 2 and tier 1 orgs like Ronin and stuff, they know competitive TF2, and they're like, oh hey, like, oh, Velocity Esports tweeted something about like them getting third place at this land, like, hey, that's kind of cool, and like, hey, there's a lot of good tier 3 orgs now, like maybe we'll go check out TF2. And then when the bigger orgs check out TF2, you'd be like, why would they check out TF2? Because TF2 doesn't have enough money. But then they're the big orgs, and the big orgs can convince companies like Dreamhack and ESL to start hosting lands, and they could like convince them to like increase the prize pools because they're big orgs, and they can like help them invest and expand TF2. And they'll only expand TF2 if TF2 has commitment, and commitment comes from like small orgs, like tier 3 orgs that are willing and like enthusiastic to be like a part of your community and like expand your community. And I'm so chapped that people don't just like respect these orgs that are trying to help your scene get better. They're also trying to like make money in the long run, but they're trying to help your scene get better. And there's people like throwing matches and shit. And like, okay, I'm going on a tangent here, and I should stop soon. But like, People should really take TF2 professionally. Like that's the point of this whole podcast is just like me telling like everybody in like the pro community and just like people who want to be like really good at the game and just like go to lands and shit to just take it professionally because like the game will expand so well and it's like it really like I'm not forcing anyone to change but I don't know. I'm just saying it's like a certain era of players. It's something I'd want to see, and what I want to see, like it's not necessarily what people should do, but that's just what I'm saying. And I just want to make a comment quickly on when I was talking about orgs and stuff. I was gonna say that like I read this earlier on TFTV, but Hildreth he made a great comment about like the reason why he doesn't want an org himself, and like the reason why just like I don't know, getting an org like just like what most orgs do to you as a player. And he made some great points. And I'm gonna see if I could try to pull this up on the description when you guys watch this video. But like he makes some good points about like the negatives of like having orgs and stuff. But it's all about finding good orgs and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I talked about everything here on my note list. It's a pretty unorganized note list. But yeah, anyways, I just want to give a little bit of a conclusion, I guess, and just say once again that the only way we could grow top TF2 is from active player commitment from into orgs and like lands and like streaming and all this kind of stuff. And when that era comes, it depends entirely on the group of players who are playing the game currently. I'm not asking anybody to like change because like of like community pressure or something. Like it really just depends on like the players willing to like do that kind of stuff, and sometimes there'll be a group of players who come and do that, and that's gonna be awesome. But and that kind of stuff, like I mean, I don't know, I want to say like I don't want to talk about I-61 and like a team like going there. I have like I don't know, that's kind of like a fuzzy boundary because there's like both sides to the argument, but like um yeah, attitude towards the game, and that era could be now if people want to change, and we can't just wait for money to you know come to the game. No one's going to give you free money. We got to work towards it, and I really hope people take that message seriously. So and we could do it as shitty open players like me. I could do it. I can work towards this game being better just by tuning in on Twitch. I literally idle on TFTV streams. I barely watch Invite anymore, but like I see a match and I'll just like play RuneScape and like put it in the background and like not even watch it. I just wanted to get more viewers. Like everyone can contribute, and this video was more to like my opinion on pro players and how they should take the game, but like everyone can help expand TF2. So with that said, guys, just follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the channel if you want, and thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys dig into this and we have a good discussion. All right, guys, catch you later.